Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning to Not Your Journey to Take. Early morning sip and chat. Good morning. My name is Keisha Mason Campbell. I am the author of Not Your Journey to Take. I teach women that no is a complete sentence. I show them how to establish healthy boundaries with families while putting their needs first. So this week is all about testing the boundaries that you set as a goal on last week. So I'm hoping that you have your coffee, tea. I'm drinking lemon ginger this morning. So welcome, welcome. Thank you for watching me live. Thank you for watching the replay. So again, I want to welcome you to Not Your Journey to Take, Early Morning Sip and Chat. And today's topic is all about testing those boundaries that you set as goals last week. How is that coming along? And are you at least trying it? It's not easy, and I apologize for sounding a little nasal. The elements of the weather is changing, so the allergies are doing its thing. So to you, are you at least testing the boundaries that you set on last week? And even if you set multiple boundaries last week, you don't have to test them all. We can just test one. Just test the waters, because now you're seeing if you can implement and sustain those boundaries. And then you also testing the waters to see how your family, friends, your co-workers, how they respond to your boundaries. So the only way that you can do that is if you begin to put those feelers out there. Set up those boundaries, and remember, boundaries are not walls. Boundaries are absolutely not walls. Boundaries are just that, boundaries. They're there to protect you and also to protect those others that you deal with. Be it a spouse, a child, family member, a parent, a coworker, a friend. Boundaries are necessary. And boundaries protect all of us. Boundaries protect all of us. It allows you to be able to set some ground rules. It allows you to be able to say no, knowing that that's a complete sentence and not feeling like you have to explain yourself. So put it in the comments, whether you're watching live or the replay, or shoot me a DM. Let me know how that's coming along as you begin to test those boundaries. We don't have to implement them yet because we're still in that testing phase, right? Last week, we created the boundaries as goals, which are things that we want to obtain. And even if we don't do it within the time frame that we set forth, we just change the date. We don't have to change the boundary, but we can change the date and where we want to have them implemented in our lives. Right? So, I challenge you for the rest of this week, test your boundaries. Be it with family members, with friends, co-workers. Test them. Because remember, the boundaries are necessary for you. The boundaries are necessary for all parties involved, but especially for you. Because you have to learn that no is a complete sentence. There's no need for explanation because you say no. You're saying no because you want to say no, regardless of what that reason is. At the end of that conversation, it's still no. So it doesn't matter the explanation. Putting yourself first, that'll help you with your no's. Because you have to think about you. What is it that you want to do? What is it that you're trying to do? What is it that you're trying to accomplish? Sometimes, when certain things are asked of us, those are things that you just can't fulfill because you have other things going on. We're no longer putting ourselves on the back burner because we can't help others if we haven't helped ourselves. So for the past couple of weeks, we've been going back to this primary example. If you've ever been on an airplane or watched a movie where an airplane was involved, you saw the flight attendant tell you when the cabin loses air pressure, what do? Or what happens? Cabin loses air pressure, and what happens? I'll tell you what happens. When the cabin loses air pressure, the oxygen masks fall. So when the cabin lose air pressure, oxygen masks fall, what are you supposed to do? I'll tell you what you do. When the cabin lose air pressure, oxygen masks fall, you have to put your mask on first before you help anybody else. You have to put your mask on first before you help anybody else. Why? Because if you lose oxygen helping everybody else, you'll begin to work on fumes. And what'll happen? You'll lose oxygen. They'll have on their mask. They'll be moving along and you'll be gone. Why? Because you put others first. You helping them first and you haven't taken care of you. Didn't mean to be so dramatic with that one, but the reality is if you're constantly helping others and taking care of others and never taking care of you, you will be gone. You will be gone. And they will be moving on with their lives. Everything will be peaches and cream. And you either won't be there at all, or you can't be there because you're not well. Right? There's a lot of reasons why you won't be there. Well, you can start by not being there, by putting you first. And again, I will continue to reiterate, that doesn't mean you don't have to do anything for your family member. That doesn't mean don't do anything for your family, friends, co-workers. It means just do it with boundaries. Do it with limitations. Do it within your purview. Do it when it works for you. When it works for you. And it may not work for you all the time. It may not work for you all the time. And that's okay. That is absolutely okay. And when you begin to realize that, that begins to resonate with you, that your no is a complete sentence, that boundaries are necessary, putting yourself first is more important than anything. Because again, you can't pour from an empty vessel. I think Tanisha said that yesterday. And you can't. You have to take care of you first. You have to make sure that you're good before you do anything for anybody else. Because what happens? You take care of everybody else. And you don't take care of you. And then what happens? You lose oxygen. Right? Going back to our example, you lose oxygen. And then, if you can't breathe for a while, what eventually happens? You die. Right? Nobody wants to be dead. Nobody wants to be dead. But if you can't take care of you and you're letting everybody else do what they need to do and you're there for everybody else and you don't take time for you, that's what's going to happen. This is exactly what's going to happen. So just make sure that you take care of you first. Put you first. Sometimes no is a complete sentence. Most times, or all the time, no is a complete sentence. But no is okay to say. Setting healthy boundaries. I didn't just say set boundaries. Set healthy boundaries. So when I set my boundaries, that doesn't mean I won't do for you. That doesn't mean I won't show up for you. Doesn't mean I won't be there for you, with you. That doesn't mean I won't support you. Does not mean that. It just means if I have something going on, if I want to do something else, and you're asking me for a favor or wanting me to do something or requiring me to do something or wanting to make me feel obligated to do something, my obligation is to me first. Now, if I'm good, time is available, nothing is going on, and you ask, absolutely, I got you. I got you. But just know, in this year and in this time, it is your time to put you first. Learn that no is a complete sentence. And learn how to set healthy boundaries. Boundaries, again, is not for you to be mean, hateful, or say that you're not going to show up or you don't want to do this or you don't want to do that out of spite. That is not boundaries. It is not boundaries. What it does is it allows you to just set the boundaries to say, not today, maybe tomorrow, or just not at all. And that's okay. But the recipient of that may not be as happy because they're not used to you saying no. They're not used to you not showing up because you always do. And that's not to say that you still can't show up. You just show up differently now. That's all. You just show up differently. And that's absolutely okay. That is absolutely okay. Showing up differently just puts you in a space of making sure that you're okay first. Making sure that you're good. Making sure that you are available. Because if you're not available, right, now you're doing things because you're required, because you're obligated. And it's not out of love and kindness. And although it's the same action, the place in which you do it from makes a huge difference. Makes a tremendous difference. So you have to be mindful. You have to be mindful of that. So as long as you are pulling from a full cup, you are taking care of you first. When things are asked of you, be it a family member, a co-worker, a friend, you can pull from a full cup and you can share your overflow. Pulling from that empty vessel, there's nothing there. There's nothing there. I can't give you, like this glass here, I can't give you some of this water. There's nothing in this glass. I'm just giving you an example. Same thing when you're pouring from yourself. If you don't have anything to give, you don't have anything to give. But if you take care of you first, you will absolutely have lots to give, lots of love to give. You'll be able to share. You'll be able to help others. But you'll do it from a space and a place of love, kindness, and gratitude. Not feeling like I have to, not feeling like I'm obligated, not feeling like I'm required. That absolutely won't be the space in which you take care of others or where you help others and when you're there for others. Pulling from a space of love, kindness, and gratitude makes that same act so much different. So much different. So remember, last week, we set a few goals, set a few boundaries as goals. This week, we're testing the waters. We're testing some of those boundaries with our loved ones. We're testing the boundaries with our spouses, with our children, with our parents, with our siblings, with our cousins, any other family members, with our co-workers. We're testing those boundaries. And you don't have to go full-fledged in if it's not something that you've ever done. But try it. You may get pushed back. You may feel uncomfortable. You know, those butterflies that happen in your stomach. You may get all of that. But just know, when you set boundaries, people learn from you and they will set boundaries as well. So you have to be okay with that. You absolutely have to be okay. Because it's all right to have those boundaries to go back and forward. It's a safe space. And then everybody would be doing things for each other and to each other, with each other, supporting of each other from a place of love, kindness, and gratitude. Now, I'm going to go ahead and sign off. Again, my name is Keisha Mason Campbell. I am the author of Not Your Journey to Take. And I teach women that no is a complete sentence. I show them how to establish healthy boundaries with families, all while putting their needs first. I hope that all of you have a super fantastic day on purpose. And I want to thank you for watching me live and watching the replay. I'll see you in the morning.